What up? So my name is David and welcome to the first official video of David Animates. Well, kind of, and let me quickly state that I'm Russian. So now we've got this out of the way, let's get on with the video. Now, stereotypes, most of us know who they are, but to those who don't, here's a brief description. In social psychology, a stereotype is an overgeneralized belief about a category of people. Stereotypes are generalized because one assumes that the stereotype is true for each individual person in the category. I mean, that was kind of brief, well, not brief at all, but pretty much a stereotype is a person who thinks something about someone which isn't true. You don't have to go far and wide and onto an adventure to find Russian stereotypes in the movie industry. Russians are pretty much always the bad guys in movies, and this is because men are known to be mean and scary with their accents and weird language. People probably think this because Russians are known to grow up in tough families, and to be fair, Russian parents are kind of strict, and this is completely coming from my own knowledge. But it's not true when people say that Russians are mean, because they are known as some of the most kindest and heartwarming people. So go find yourself a Russian friend. Now, some of the biggest ones that people come up to me and tell me from time to time, well, a lot of the time, are stuff like, are you a Russian drunk? Well, no. Well, because I'm underage. But we are known to be drunks because the lower class, also known as gobstops or Slavs, love to buy cheap apple juice, and people who aren't like this drink just a normal amount of apple juice, which is a surprisingly small amount of people. Although there is one story when I got very drunk at a very young age at a very family reunion, but I'll tell more about that in a future video, so stay tuned. But now, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so you know Spies? Well, people called me a Russian spy, and before a year ago, I didn't even know any of this Russian spy stuff, but at one point, one of my friends started calling me a Russian spy, and I actually have no idea why Russians are known as spies, but anyway, so just because we're Russian doesn't mean we're all spies, but I actually don't mind when people joke around like this, so why am I even making a video about this? Anyway, I just like to have fun with it, and there's actually one time when I was pretending to be hacking in class, and just as one of my friends noticed, the fire alarm went off and everyone in a mile radius of me just looked at me with those disappointed eyes and shouted,
"David, why would you do that?"
And I just joked around and saying that I was bored in class and Putin helped me, and for the whole day my friends and I just joked around that I work for Putin. And speaking of Putin, people think that I have portraits of Putin hanging all around my house, which I mean, come on, we don't praise him like he's our god or something. Anyway, a lot of people ask me, what do I think of Putin? Psh, I don't care about Putin. I mean, why do you think my parents moved to Australia from Russia? Haha, moving on to the last one, and that is that Russians are emotionless, and people believe this because of the movies where they hire the freaking fakest Russians which are so emotionless and act like a brick wall. Hey, that's offensive, you know. Sorry. But they act completely and utterly emotionless in movies, which isn't true, and I cringe when I see an American actor trying to be an emotionless Russian. But pretty much no Russian acts like this, because everyone I know who are Russian are happy and ecstatic and not punch a wall kind of people. So just because we don't smile at you in public doesn't mean we're emotionless, we just like to keep to ourselves. So what have I briefly explained in this video? That not all Russians are drunkheads, not all Russians are spies or part of the Russian mafia, and Russians are not emotionless. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next video. See ya!